I'll ask you what you think in a second first, or what you thought. But MJF came out. It didn't come out. They played a video where MJF arrived in a sports car, a fancy sports car of some description, obviously expensive, with an NFL-style voiceover guy putting him over. And he's on, at first, he gets out of the car, he puts his high school football jacket on. Where was it? Plainview?
Plainview.
Maybe Haddonfield. He should be from Haddonfield High. Then they could bring Michael Myers into a cross promotion. Anyway, so he's on the high school football field wearing his football jacket. The NFL voiceover guy is listing all of his accolades. If he was Lex Luger, they'd be allocades. And it was hilarious and seriously good at the same time. It was obviously meant to be funny and entertaining, but it was slanted toward how the heel would truly present himself. And the comedy came in the fact that this guy is such an insufferable egomaniac, and not because he's jerking everybody's chain trying to get everybody to laugh at him. It was a good personality piece. And then in the arena, they play his music and he makes his entrance. If you noticed, every wise-ass white guy between 16 and 30 in the building just loved him to fucking death. So we've established MJF's core audience is a bunch of fucking guys from New York like him that like wise-asses. I can see that. But here's the problem. He was coming to the ring to compete in another one of these goddamn Diamond Battle Royals. And besides the fact that there are too many battle royals in this company, and too many battle royals probably in wrestling in general these days, MJF's the only one that got an entrance. And then they started the match. Everybody just jumped in. Did I miss it, or did the announcers ever even run over everybody's name? Because I was trying to write names down as I was looking, saying, who's that? Who's that?
I don't think they did.
So 12 guys... MJF gets in the ring, 11 other guys jump in, and from my accounting, it was Jay Lethal, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Lee Moriarty, Matt Hardy. Talk about a spare prick at the wedding. That was completely out of place. Dante Martin, Leo Rush, Wardlow, and Kazarian. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I missed 2.
Spears was on the floor, but he wasn't in the match, right?
He wasn't in the match. But anyway, nevertheless, it's a fucking battle royal. It was a showcase for MJF, but here's where they made the mistake. They put Jay Lethal in this thing. Come on, seriously. He just debuted, lost his debut match. Now you stick him in a battle royal, and the way that Lethal got eliminated was Matt Hardy got brass knucks from one of his stooges, hit Jay Lethal with the brass knucks, and then just grabbed him and dumped him over the rope like a sack of shit. Should have been the other way around. Jay Lethal should have eliminated somebody like Matt Hardy to at least show that he's capable of doing something. Better yet, he shouldn't have been in this. Hobbs and Wardlow gave each other some tackles, and then suddenly Leo Rush came from behind Hobbs and drop kicked or whatever. No, he had gone over the top, but he was on the apron, and Rush came with a drop. So Leo Rush eliminated Powerhouse Hobbs. The showcase for MJF in this was that he hid behind Wardlow most of the time, and he jumped out once and took a cheap shot on one of the baby faces that had his back turned, and it brought the house down. And then he'd hide behind Wardlow again until finally Leo Rush and old Shoddy Lee Johnson, he was in there too, old Shoddy Lee. They both tried to dump Wardlow, and MJF came from behind and dumped all of them, including Wardlow. So that meant that Starks and Dante Martin were left with MJF, and the last 2 guys in the ring fight next week for the diamond. And so Dante suddenly dumps Starks and then rips off his Team Taz armband. So that means that Dante signed the contract with Team Taz 2 weeks ago.
No, was it 2 weeks ago or last week?
It was 2 weeks ago. And they did an interview about it last week, I'm pretty sure. And now he turns on his Team Taz teammate, or maybe they could be Tazmates.
Tazmates, I like that. I like it.
And rips the armband off, but the camera missed the shot of him ripping the armband off. We saw it laying on the ground. And so now Dante is going to face MJF next week, and Dante's now he's a babyface again. So MJF offers Dante the handshake, raises his hand, and leaves the ring. And then Starks gets on Dante, and MJF is conflicted. He's looking back. Should he help? Should he not? He's turning back and finally, yes, he runs to the ring, jumps in, shoves Starks. Starks shoves MJF, and then they both get on Dante. And then here comes Punk out, and MJF bails, and Punk traps Starks in there and hits the GTS on Starks. And that was great stuff at the end. But I'm just, the Battle Royal, Lethal in there for no reason. Hobbs getting eliminated by Lio Rush. And then finally, Dante being in Team Taz for 2 weeks and never actually doing anything to benefit Team Taz, or Team Taz has never done anything to Dante's detriment. But he just decided with that same sullen look on his face, I don't want to do this. What did this all mean? I said I was going to ask you about it beforehand, but I just went through it.
The Dante Team Taz stuff makes no sense. They set up that Lio Rush. Let's go back. We started seeing Lio Rush vignettes that he's coming in as LBO, leveraged buyout. He's now a businessman. He comes in, he tries to sign Dante Martin. Dante's teaming up with Matt Sydal. Somehow everyone's getting along, but they still have a match. Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty, I think, against Leo and Dante, and then they win, so it's just Leo and Dante, and Matt Sydal disappears. Then Taz shows an interest, signs him, and then they confront Lio Rush last week, I think it was in a promo, and now the first time we've seen him actually wrestle as a member of Team Taz, he immediately threw off the armband and turned babyface again.
That pretty much summed it up. And again, anything that's a vehicle for MJF to get heat and get over it, etc., I'm fine with. And this obviously didn't suck and got the point across, but to waste Jay Lethal, to make Hobbs look that vulnerable, and especially to the whole Team Taz thing with Dante just meant nothing. I was quite confused. Almost like I'd gone out of my mind. Ever loving crazy. Absolutely nuts, Brian.
Nuts? Nuts are my favorite. I love nuts because I get them all the time from nuts.com.
I love nuts. I've had a couple I've kept with me my entire life. I like to have them around. But folks, I'll tell you what, if you like the nuts, well, then you need to go to nuts.com.
You like the nuts?
If you like all the varieties of nuts, we're talking about nuts of all kinds. We're talking about dried nuts, roasted nuts, candied nuts, chocolate-covered nuts. I guess they probably got pickled nuts. I don't know what the heck they've got.
They're all delicious nuts.
They're all delicious nuts. Deliciousness. The deliciousness of their delicious nuts is not just for nut lovers. It's the best-kept secret of savvy snackers across America. Wow. And now new customers get 10% off their nuts. Folks, whether it's the candies, the dried fruits, the pantry items, baking mixes, pasta, nuts.com has over 4,000 products to choose from. At the top of the list, the white chocolate toffee cashews. Of course, Brian, your family, like the chocolate lovers that they are, like the chocolate gummy bears. They have salted, roasted, organic, raw, and candied nuts. Unbelievable quality, fast delivery. If you order a box from nuts.com, it will arrive 3 hours before you order it. That's how fast their delivery is.
You know what? Let me stop you. They don't guarantee that, although I will say for the record, that is what happened. They delivered me a package a day before they said they were going to ship it.
That's right. Because what they do is they follow the Hulk Hogan route. And when they ship you your nuts, they fly it around the world through Japan to beat the international date line. They go the extra mile at nuts.com for you, folks. Yeah, they just go the other way, just turn left instead of turning right. And once they go around Japan, they've gained a day. Folks, anyway, if you'd like the 10% off your first order if you're a new customer, and if you're a new customer, then you just got to get everything and try it out. If you're an old customer, you already know what you like. Get more of that. But new customers, new nuts, as they say, get 10% off their first order when they text experience to 64,000. That's experience. That's a word. It's a common word in the English language, something you find around the house. Text experience to 64,000. Get 10% off your first order from nuts.com. Terms apply. Available at nuts.com/terms. Who reads those?
Who reads the terms?
Yes.
The
Has
attorneys.
Anybody read the terms?
Yeah, the attorneys read the terms.
Term readers. The terms of the attorneys. You love nuts.com.
And I love attorneys.
Yes. And I love nutty attorneys. So that's why Stephen P. New is all of our favorites.
Oh, no, he's not nutty.
Anyway,